You're watching WYLN TV 35.
Welcome to Let's Talk Sports here on WYLN. I'm your host, Marty Burns. And this week we have a very special guest, outstanding athlete from the Crestwood Comet's athletic program. Ryan Petrosky is our guest. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of sports and what's in the future for Ryan right after this. You're watching Let's Talk Sports here on WYLN.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazelton. Who says you can't buy a pre-owned car? We have 2019 Trax, we have a Honda CR-V, we have a 2019 Dodge Journey, we've got another Trax, we've got GMCs, we've got a huge selection of pre-owned cars. We have them all the way down there, we have them all the way up there. You want used trucks? How about a 2019 Blacked Out Edition Silverado? Guys, if you're in the market for a car, we've got them all. Come on down to Blaze Alexander and see this huge selection of used cars at 508 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazelton.
Penn State Hazelton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Go hog wild for Iron Pigs Baseball. WYLN is televising the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs live. America's favorite pastime on your local network, WYLN TV 35. See the Stars of Tomorrow at Coca-Cola Park. Don't miss any of the games here on WYLN TV 35. Visit WYLNTV.com for a complete Iron Pigs schedule. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on WYLN, your home for live sports.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports here on WYLN. I'm your host, Marty Burns. This week, a very special guest from Crestwood, graduating senior from the football, basketball, and baseball team, Ryan Petrosky. And Ryan, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So Ryan, as a graduating senior, we've gotten coaches' perspectives, just this crazy 2020-2021 campaign, all the way from leading into football and now finishing up with your baseball season.
Yeah, at first, when COVID first happened, everything got shut down. And then throughout the summer, you didn't really know if you were going to have a senior season or whatnot, or if you're going to be back in school. And we ended up having an opportunity to play football and won the district title, and we took advantage of every opportunity that we have. Same thing in basketball. You didn't know at first what was going to happen, when it was going to start, if it was going to happen. We took the opportunity every day and won the district title there. And then in baseball, again, you didn't really know how it was going to work, if you're going to be playing, series or games and whatnot. And, we had a fun season, baseball.
And we had Coach Atherton on. He was our second guest of Let's Talk Sports. And we had talked about that chaotic district championship day.
Yeah.
Lead us through, as a player, leading up to that Friday, just the unknowing of whether you were going to play, whether you weren't, and then when you got the call that you weren't going to play.
Yeah, well, on Tuesday after our game, we found out that Abington won, and we were playing Abington. And, we were excited the whole night. We were all, fired up to play Abington. And on Wednesday, Coach Atherton, the first thing at practice, he brought us all in and said that there's no more game. North Pocono had a positive case, and we were awarded the district title. And then about 20 minutes into practice, they said we're playing Abington's JV team, and that they were all not close contacts and didn't have to quarantine. So then we thought we were preparing for their JV team. And then I think it was Tuesday night, or it was Wednesday night, that they said that the CDC allowed the Abington players to play because they're wearing masks. So then we were playing them. And then up until Friday, I think it was around, right after about school, the Coach Atherton called us and said that, to get on a Google Meet, which is how we met virtually, and said that the game was postponed and we were awarded district champions, that they weren't allowed to play. So it was definitely a full 2 days of emotions and roller coasters. Still doesn't really seem real if you think about it. We went to the arena at night after the girls' game and just got our medals and took pictures. Couldn't even shoot on the court. So, I'm glad we won the district title, and we earned it. I think as a team we earned it, and I think we know what the outcome would have been if we played the game. So, but I'm just glad that we were able to have an opportunity to even have a season.
And you may have already answered this next question, but I know Coach Atherton was happy that the district allowed you guys to go up, get in uniform. And I always said one of the special things for the district champions is you go off to the behind the one basket, everyone gets their district team picture. Talk about just that experience, even though, as you said, you didn't get to shoot, you didn't get to play on the arena floor, but at least you got up there, got your medals.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was still like an after a game ceremony. Coach Allerton's to put the medals around everybody's neck. We got team pictures on the court. Our parents were able to take pictures of us and behind the medal. So it was still special to agree. We still got to go to the arena through the back entrance and go in the locker room and get changed. We did everything but play the game, is the way I think about it and then what we thought about it.
And we talked about you played football this year, then the basketball, as we've just discussed, and then baseball. Different coaches, different styles. Is there one similarity between your coaches?
They all like to win, and they all have a factor in them that deep down drives them that no matter what it takes that they want to win. And every single coach that I have really cares about you as a person and what you're going through. And if you have to talk to them about anything, they're always there to talk to also.
Now, I know I haven't had the opportunity to get to know your baseball coach, so I'm just going to focus on the three coaches that you've had, Coach Myers, Coach Arcangeli, and Coach Atherton. Your football coaches. I know Coach Arcangeli, and I know I butchered his name again, and everybody yell at me, but he was on Coach Myers' staff, but took over and added his own style. Talk about the differences, but how everything seems to have followed through.
You could tell that Coach Arc learned a lot from Coach Myers. And Coach Myers, I had them both, Coach Arc and Coach Myers, for 2 years. Coach Myers the first 2 years. They're both great coaches, both great football minds, both great people. The difference is Coach Myers is a little bit more laid back and always seems more cool and like calm than Coach Arc is. And Coach Arc is a very fiery guy, and it's tough not to be fired up when you're around Coach Arc. And just the way even when he speaks a sentence to you, you always seem to have a little jolt and get ready to go. But they're both two great coaches.
Now, I read a lot of articles about it, and I'm going to stick with you. I'm just going to call him Coach Arc. When he came to you, when he took over and said, I'd like you to be quarterback, you had played receiver for Coach Myers. What were your thoughts about the position switch?
I was excited. At first, I was a little confused because Garrett actually finished the year as quarterback for us. So I thought I'd go in the off season, work as receiver, work with Garrett, and then when Coach Arc got the job, I had him in class second period, and he told me after that I'm going to be the quarterback and to get ready. And I said I'm excited for the opportunity. I can't wait to lead. And from there on, it was just I think me and Coach Arc were a very good head coach quarterback combination. We were able to talk off each other and gel off each other a lot. So.
And Coach Atherton, I know, has that desire to win. And the other thing that I admire about your teams starts on the defensive end. And it is tough, in-your-face, man-to-man. If you don't like playing against a team that's going to be in your face, you don't want to play Crestwood.
Yeah, Coach Allerton's number one thing before it's defense. It's defense, defense, defense. It doesn't matter. Because his thing was you're not going to hit 15 threes every game. You're not going to make every foul shot. You're going to miss. You're going to have games where you can't shoot. But if you come up every day with a defense that nobody wants to shoot or no one wants to drive because you have help defense and people are going to take charges and they don't want to drive in the lane because they don't want to fall and take a charge, and if you fight through screens. So it was always defense with him, and that's what he preaches, and he does a really good job teaching it too.
And one of the things I've mentioned to Coach Atherton in a couple of interviews talking about you specifically, and I saw it on a website that I guess you put a profile out for recruiters, and it's somewhat to what I thought and what you wrote, will to win. Talk about the will to win.
Yeah, when I play, I want to win. It doesn't matter if it's scoring 2 points, if it's handing the ball off 25 times. I just want to do whatever I could do to help my team win and help my team, score points, if it's leadership, if it's scoring, if it's defense, if it's passing, if it's running. It's just I have a desire that I like to I don't like to lose. I really don't. So I try to find everything in me, just do whatever I can to win at all costs.
And we'll go back to this senior season for Crestwood, but let's look to the future. Heading to Bloomsburg University, very familiar coach to a lot of us on WYLN and Coach Shep Talk. Talk about why you selected Bloomsburg.
Bloomsburg felt like home to me. The first time I went there on campus, I had a great visit with Coach DKG and Coach Sheptok, and they really toured me around, and it felt like home, and I felt like I could trust Bloomsburg, and I had a lot of trust in Coach Sheptok, and I like the way that he reminds me of Coach Ark, which they want to flip the culture around, and that's how Coach Ark came in. He wanted to, culture, commitment, community, and Coach Sheptok wants to build a new culture there, and I'm fired up to continue help with him.
And what do you see? I know you haven't even stepped on campus yet. You haven't even graduated during this taping, but your role on the Bloomsburg team.
Coach Sheptok recruited me as an athlete, leaning me toward defensive back, and I'm going to get there. I'm going to work as hard as I can every single day, and he'll find a spot for me.
Okay. We're going to talk about a couple of games from Ryan's senior season, a couple in football, one in basketball. I think you'll be familiar with them because you saw them all here on WYLN. And Coach Sheptok, remember, Coach DeMelfi's watching, so treat this young man well. We'll be back as Let's Talk Sports continues right after this.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Third Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
Follow us on our weekly journeys through the backstories of those paving NEPA toward a better future.
Each night we'll dig a little deeper into the lives and goals of our local leaders. So stay tuned for the end of our news as we learn more of those leading the way.
Nick Bolton here with the latest from Bell & Howell. We call them tack glasses. Inspired by the sunglasses worn by our heroes in uniform, tack glasses block blinding glare so well, invisible objects suddenly become visible. Enhance colors to give you vision as sharp as an eagle's and survive even the harshest conditions. Look, ordinary sunglasses just make things darker, which could be deadly in a tactical situation. Tack glasses improve optical clarity so you can see clearly, even in low light. If you've never seen how this light filtering technology works, check this out. Nothing to see, right? But look again as we hold up our tack glasses. A colorful American eagle is revealed. Amazing!
Act now to get your tack glasses for just $19.99, and we'll even ship it to you free. So don't delay. Order yours today.
To order, call 1-800-287-3213. Again, that's 1-800-287-3213, or order online at trytackglasses.com.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports. I'm your host, Marty Burns. Very pleased to have as our guest this week, senior athlete, as we'll call him, Ryan Petrosky. And I guess as we're doing this taping, you won't be senior much longer.
No.
Looking forward to graduation?
I am. I'm looking forward to the next step after Crestwood and the summer and up to Bloomsburg.
Let's look back to some of the games during your senior season. And right before your Berwick game and the way the season went, I guess it was about midway point you got banged up a little bit. And you didn't play quarterback, but I think it was right before the Berwick game you played a game at receiver. Had a big catch at the end of that game. And when you're a receiver, do you almost use your basketball abilities, sometimes box a guy out, jump ball, that type of thing?
Yeah, as receiver, I have a lot more like tools I could use, especially the basketball background helps me a lot with the boxing out, and because all rebounding is positioning.
Right.
That's like 90% of it. And going up for a jump ball, it's positioning. Do you have better leverage in the corner? Can you get off the ground before he does? So I do use a lot of basketball when I play receiver.
And that seems to be one of the fundamentals that seems to be lacking a lot, and not just this area. You see it a lot on the college level. Boxing out seems to slowly disappear.
Yeah, it has disappeared a lot of times. And Coach Allerton is one who preaches on boxing out. If he sees a game and after he watches film and he sees you don't box out, you better bet he's going to tell you about it. So he teaches a good job of boxing out and getting on, but it's definitely starting to be a lost art in the game.
And I guess if you don't get the message, there's going to be some running too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Let's talk about the first game that we had on that we're going to have in this discussion that was on WYLN. Your team traveled to Berwick, take on the Bulldogs. They were going through injuries and all kind of issues. They were a very depleted team. But before we talk about playing that Berwick team, you only got to play there a couple times, obviously because home and away. But to go into Crispin Field as a visitor and the history that's there in Berwick, to go and to be able to play on that field, just talk a little bit about that.
It's just like, when you step into the field and into the stadium, it's like a different atmosphere. You almost feel, people tailgating already when you get there, and it doesn't matter what the record is. There's always, and even with COVID this year and limited tickets, there's still a lot of people in the stands, a lot of people watching, and it's just a different atmosphere, and you know how it is, and it's special, especially a Berwick-Crestwood rivalry that kind of got away a little bit, and I think it came back a little bit now.
And if you didn't know when kickoff was, the fireworks sure give you a notice that you know when that's getting ready to happen. But let's get to that game. I believe you guys were up 7-0. Berwick marched down the field, and then your defense came up with a big first and goal, 4-down goal line stand. You got the ball back, and before you know it, you guys go right down the field and score. A lot of it on your athletic ability.
Yeah, I remember that stop. It was they got down there and they had 4 chances to get in from the 2, and our defense, like they did all year, they held and they got the offense the ball, and we had I think it was a 5-play drive, and it ended up being a 80-yard touchdown of Brendan DeMarzo on a skinny post. So, but that was definitely a big game and a big stop for us, our team.
And you mentioned that working with Brendan, you went from, as we talked about, receiver to quarterback. Working with the guys that you used to work with, as say in the receiver room, now you're working with them as giving them the ball.
Yeah, as playing receiver helped me at quarterback, because as a receiver, you know when you want the ball and when you can make a move after the catch and where you want it and how you can do it. So it kind of helped me to realize that where they kind of would want the ball and where they need the ball to make plays. So it definitely helped me a lot.
And then we moved to your final game of the regular season. We were lucky enough to do it at home against Lake Lehman. We were building it as the Battle of the Unbeatens, you guys and the Black Knights of Lake Lehman. The first 3 quarters plus, maybe not the way you guys wanted things to go. But again, it seemed like your defense spurred things on. Lake Lehman went for it on 4th down deep in your territory. You guys came up with the big sack and stomp. And I remember saying something to the effect of, all you guys needed was just something positive, just get a score. And it just seemed like you guys were spurred on by that defensive stand. You got the score, and it became a whole different ball game.
Yeah, our defense really all year was kind of the glue. Even the first game against Hazleton, our offense, and I turned the ball over. I didn't have a great game the first game, but my defense all year, it was always, they came up with the big stop, the big turnover, the big play all year. And that Lake Lehman game, it was the first three and a half quarters really weren't looking our way, but even in the first 3 quarters that we didn't score, we had a lot of opportunities to score.
Right.
We didn't hit them. We missed a couple passes by a couple inches. We missed a field goal. It was just, we had chances, we just didn't make them. And then in the 4th quarter, it started, we got to stop, and then I threw a deep ball to Paul Fiesel, and he went up and he caught it. We ended up scoring a touchdown that drive, and then I threw another deep ball to Paul, and he caught it again, and everybody was eruptive. It was like, all right, let's go for the win. And then we scored a touchdown on DeMarzo, I remember, on the backside to tie it up. Then in overtime, they kicked the field goal. Our defense did a great job. They lost 10 yards in overtime. They held them to a field goal. And first play, Jimmy Hawley ran it down to the 1-yard line, and we punched it in the next play.
And you mentioned a couple things in your last statement that I want to focus on. Paul Fiesel, a teammate not only on the football team but also on the basketball team. Did you take that into consideration when you're looking for plays for Paul? The same thing that we just talked about. Use his basketball skills when you throw him the ball.
Yeah, I have a lot of trust in Paul. I've known Paul since I was 3 years old. We've been playing sports together. And it was big that he came back out this year for football because we needed him. He had a lot of big plays this year, a lot of big catches. And I knew when I threw the ball up to Paul, I had trust in Paul that he was going to come down and make a play for me every single time. And then helps in basketball because when you have Paul in the corner, it's usually money, so you have a lot of trust in him.
And then you talked about that last play to tie the game. Well-designed play. Is it one of those that, you know, as a quarterback, you're like, when are we going to run this play because it'll work? You know,
we've run that play a couple. I'm not going to say what the play is called. I'm not going to do Coach Art. That's one of my favorite plays. But we've run that play a lot for a lot of touchdowns too. And I know that I saw the defense all shift over, and Brennan was all by himself right there, and I just had to put the ball.
Before we get to basketball, you mentioned the first of your 2 district titles this year. Talk about that game and that feeling.
It was nice to do it against Dallas because they got us good twice last year. They had a very good team last year. And when we played them in the second round of districts last year, we thought the final score wasn't really indicative of how the game went. And we had chances that game too, and we didn't hit them. But this year we knew that Coach Manello and Coach Ark have a little buddy-buddy rivalry, I know. So it was nice to give it to Dallas, and I'm glad we had a great game that game, a lot of running. And it was just a great game. I was proud of all of our teammates that game.
I'm sure, because I know Coach Manello from my Kings days. He probably told Coach Ark to get it done lots of times. So let's move to basketball. Crazy season, different things, different roadblocks. Your team goes undefeated, a conference championship. But to win that conference championship on a Saturday night in Hazleton, you guys got off to a great start, and then your defense just took over. You guys came away with the victory in a conference championship.
Yeah, and it was special on Hazleton's court because you knew the whole week lined up, and we knew we went out. We have a chance to eliminate Hazleton on Saturday and win the conference there. And you could tell from after our game on Thursday, at Friday and Saturday's practice and walkthrough, that there was just a different feel. That it was like it's business now. Like you want to get it done. You want to get it. There's no better place to get it done than at Hazleton. And it felt nice. It was a great win, a great team win. And I'm happy for everybody. It was the first time we ever won at Hazleton, and we sweeped them there twice for the conference, so it was nice.
And one of the things I saw, and I don't know if this was designed by Coach Atherton or not, but athlete against athlete, you guarded Brett Antolik a lot of the time in that ball game. Just talk about, you know the kind of athlete that Antolik is, the challenge, and, when you get the assignment to go and play defense against him.
Yeah, I was able to become friends with Brett throughout. I guarded him the first game too, and I guarded him the second game. He's a really good athlete. He's a very good basketball player, and everybody knows he's a great baseball player. And he's a big, physical, strong kid, and he's got a nice vertical. He actually dunked against us the home game. And then, but the second game, he's a good basketball player. He's got a nice shot. He's just a really good all-around basketball player and a good athlete.
Okay, we're going to take our final break of the show and be back to wrap it up with Ryan right after this.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. You want a great deal? You're looking for a great truck? You want a great selection? Come check us out. We've got trucks, whether you want a Warlock, a Rebel, whatever trim level you want, we've got them. We've got a plethora of Ram vehicles. We've got a plethora of Jeep vehicles. Why am I using that word? How else do you describe all this inventory? Here's the big close. Don't forget, Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton has the lowest price guaranteed.
WYLN Sports presents Little League Baseball. Watch a game of the week on WYLN TV 35, your home for live local sports. There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Tune in this week to Let's Talk Chiropractic. PJ here is a low-wing towing man that works very hard, but when he twists and bends, he goes to Dr. Alex for chiropractic. So let's see how Dr. Alex helps PJ, who helps you.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports, our final segment with Ryan Petrosky. And Ryan, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention your baseball season. You got back on the diamond. Talk about, after playing football and then basketball, getting yourself ready for baseball.
I thought about playing baseball last year, but they didn't have a season. So I kind of decided in the summer that I was going to give baseball another go-around. And I'm glad I played. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun out there. It was a good team. Our record wasn't really great, but we had, I think, a lot of fun, a lot of good players, and a lot of good times. But it was a fun time, definitely.
And when we talk about your senior season as a whole, when we talk about 1,000 yards passing as a quarterback, and then later in the season you scored your 1,000th point, when you look back, is there a particular game, particular team that really stands out for you as you look back at your high school career?
Not really a particular team or a game. I enjoyed every single team that I've been on, because I played 4 years of varsity football and basketball. Everyone was a little bit different, and you learned from different leaders and whatnot, and you took notes from them, and you learned on how they do things and how they treat the weight room and how they treat practice, and even how some guys warm up and how some guys play. Like a guy I looked up to a lot was Sean Murphy, a great athlete. The way he played is kind of the way I wanted to play, where every single play he gave it everything he had, and no matter what sport it was. So I kind of took a lot of that attitude.
And when we went to Crestwood, no matter what the sport was, we saw a lot of Ryan Petrosky for 4 years. When you look back, the difference between Ryan the freshman to Ryan the senior?
Ryan the freshman, I'd probably tell him not to be so scared all the time and trust yourself. But even as a freshman, the first couple games were scary and whatnot, but I had a big game against Myers, I remember, and that from there on was kind of my coming out party, as Coach Allerton would tell me. So I gained confidence early, and Coach Allerton really did a good job with that, helping me gain confidence and telling me just play basketball and play the way I know how to play.
And I know we talked about 3 of your games in your senior campaign this year. Is there one game that you're most proud of that maybe we didn't mention through your career, and it doesn't even have to be your senior year?
I would say this year in basketball, we played Valley West, and we were down early. And it was after a couple back-to-back games, and we were tired, and we got down early, and they came out ready to play, and we didn't. And I kind of, in the one huddle, said, we're undefeated right now. We have a goal. We have a common goal. Everybody wants to do it. And from that game on, we went on a big run, and I ended up winning that game. And I had a nice game, so that was kind of a big game for me and a nice confidence booster almost.
And I probably should have asked this a question before, but you had talked about Ryan the freshman, Ryan the senior. When Ryan the senior looks to now Ryan the freshman going to college, is that sort of what you're going to say? Don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to be confident.
Yeah, because you should always trust yourself. And I trust my ability sometimes too much, and I think I could do too much. But I don't think that's a bad thing. And I know when I get there, I'm just going to play football, play the way I know how to play, and do things that I know how to do, and just be confident in my ability and trust myself.
Well, Ryan, best of luck heading to Bloomsburg. We'll definitely keep an eye out for you. I know we'll get updates from Coach DeMelfi because he'll be watching with a keen eye. Thank you for all the great memories you gave us, and I know for the Crestwood community through your 4 years, and thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it a lot.
So for Ryan Petrosky, I'm Marty Burns saying so long. Join us next week for another edition of Let's Talk Sports right here on WILN.